Hey guys, welcome back to Engineered to Hunt. No, I've been kind of MIA lately. I've been very busy, had a lot of things going on. Had a really fun spring turkey season. Killed quite a few birds, a lot of firsts actually. I'll get those videos out sometime before next turkey season. No promises with fall hunting coming up. It'll probably be last minute. And then at the start of summer, I had a tonsillectomy. Not fun, but it went well for me, so I can't complain. And most importantly, as the video title says, I bought my first piece of land. Most everybody that's pretty close to me knows that owning land has kind of always been at the top of my wish list. It's kind of been my thing that I've always worked for. Um, it got me through a lot of tough days in college, you know, sitting there miserable at a desk and just going, all right, well, just get through this, get through college, and then you'll be able to afford your land. And some days when I'm at work and I just want to quit and go live on a mountain for the month of September, I know I can't because I wanted my own land. So it finally happened. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very long and stressful process. It's the reason it was so long and stressful is this has actually been a place that I've been hunting since 2013. Um, I've kind of poured my heart and soul into this place. You know, there's two main properties I hunt in Wisconsin, and I've been lucky to have a really good friend that lets me hunt and still lets me hunt up in the like western central Wisconsin, and that's my favorite. That's still my favorite property. But that property was always a couple hours away from me, away from where I lived when I was in high school and college. So it was a little harder to get up there, just go out there every day. This place here is real close to home, and I was able to pretty much come out here whenever I wanted, any day, and I did. That's kind of what I did. um, that's what I do. I just work on land. That's what I love to do. When I first started hunting it, it was there was some good deer here. I actually shot my second biggest buck ever the first year I hunted this place. But the deer herd was really run down. There was him and another nice buck, and then there was only a couple other bucks. The people before me shot pretty much everything, so it was really run down. There were old trails from years and years and years ago. None of those were maintained, and they were only partially in the woods. So I spent a lot of time opening things back up, cleaning things up, and just kind of starting to manage the deer herd. Most of you that know me know how much I love watching deer year to year, or how I nickname deer, and I follow them, and I kind of get a little attached to them. But that's what I've really been able to do with this place, is I've really been able to kind of build it from the ground up. This place here is a pretty special place, really, when it comes to deer and turkeys. Genetics are really good. A lot of deer in general, and the turkeys, a lot of turkeys, and even I got some white turkeys running around, which is pretty cool. I think there was two of them around for a couple years now, and now I saw there's 4 more white babies this year, so that's pretty neat. I've shot a lot of deer here. Stickers, Q sticks, Richard, DJ, a nice 10-pointer in 2018, a couple of nice bucks in 14, that big 10 and 13. A lot of turkeys. It's been a really good place to me. And so that's why it was so long and stressful, is because I had so much tied into this place. I had so much work. And I'm a pretty sentimental person when it comes to being able to keep the things that I have a lot of memories with. So I'll skip all the long and stressful parts, and just the fact is I got it bought, and I'm very thankful for that. I just want to take you guys around the property real quick and just give a really high level kind of look at what it looks like. This is my big bean field. It runs almost all the way down to the end, but it's about 6 acres here. You see some grass here. I got pine trees planted in there to try and just seal it off. Got out on the edge of this field. It's kind of a peninsula of pines, and there's actually some aspen and oak down here. down on this end, it's really thick. It's brushy, thick, grassy, kind of like an overgrown pasture feel. And it tapers down, necks down into this ridge here. On the other side of the ridge, we'll go up there in a little bit, but there's going to be a rye field, and then I have some brassicas down on that end. But it tapers down into this kind of long, narrow strip, and it runs all the way down until it hits the main wood block, and it opens up. So you got a big wood block here, pond down here, brassica plot on the end. We'll drive down there quick. So I'm down here on my pond berm now. We were just down there by that peninsula of pine trees just on this side. So here's the ridge that comes into the woodblock. Here's my pond. Really opens up here. I got a clover plot on the other side of the pond berm here. Woodblock continues into here. Kind of comes out. Have my brassicas right here on the end with this pine point that sticks out and then leads into the beans. So we were just over the ridge on the other side of that's the trees you see there is that kind of long, narrow ridge that run all the way back. We were down on the bottom there, now we're up on top of it. So this is all going to be planted with rye. The farmer's going to plant that here shortly. Corn out here in the middle. So the ridge meets the big wood block here. It all goes back towards the back fence line. Up here and around the point here in this kind of secluded bay, I have this brassica plot, a little narrow on the corn. Trail that goes back into the woods there, and then across from the point you have what I call the little woods. It's kind of a long, narrow, it goes all the way to the back corner and comes forward quite a ways. This here kind of gives a nice layout on it too. So down here is the little woods. It's that long, narrow woods. Up there's the point with the main wood block. Funnels down into the ridge. The ridge widens out there. Just go over a couple of things I did this year. I know these aren't the most popular videos because everybody just wants to see the big deer, the kill shot. I love that stuff too. Of course, that's kind of the end goal, but what I love more than anything is the land management side of it and the work. A lot of work's went into this place this year. I got it bought in March, and really the first big project I had was I did a lot of tree planting. So I planted like 800 or 900 trees here, quite a few pines, spruce, and mostly what I did with those is I put them on the edges, just to kind of start to build a perimeter. And I know it'll take 10-15 years, but eventually those trees will grow up and it'll block the perimeter off. This property is very good. It's very secluded. You know, this valley here, I'm kind of looking at a lot of it, and this is all, you can't see it from the road. Very secluded. And I planted some oaks, some maples, and some of the fence lines to grow them up quicker. And then the next thing I really went to work on was trails. So cleaning up the trails I already had existing, I had quite a few, and then expanding my trails, added some new trails, access into the food plot here from the main road, and just expanding the trail network a little bit. I kind of got sidelined for a little bit with my surgery, but then I started focusing on food plots. So out here behind me is my bean field. I got about 6 acres of beans down in this bottom. It's a little behind where I'd like it to be. If we get a warm September and a warm start to October, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal, because it's going to be peaking right around the end of October then. If we get a cold or dry or a really early frost, it's not going to be so great. So we'll see how that turns out. There's the soybeans, about 4 acres of brassica. And once I got a lot of the food plot stuff done, the next big thing was kind of tweaking on my stands. You know, I've been hunting it since 2013. I have a really good idea of how to hunt this place. It hunts really, really easy compared to a lot of places, to be honest. Generally, if they're living here, they're in trouble. I know it very well, and just the way the property lays out, it's really, really huntable. And so I tweaked a few stands, moved them around a little bit, added some new ones. We'll see how they turn out. I feel really, really good about my setup this year. Of course, I run on trail cameras like I normally do. I think I got 9 of them. And I got 2 deer right now. But they're named Toby and Earl. And Toby, I've watched him for 3 years now. You've seen some videos of him. You just don't know him by the name Toby. He's my number 1 here. And then Earl, admittedly I have some homework to do on Earl, because I wasn't expecting a deer that looks like Earl to show up. I'm sure I know who he is. I think I have an idea who he is, but I have to go back and do some homework. Once I figure out who he is, then I'll kind of put a plan together. He's kind of my plan B. He's a very nice buck, but not quite as much character, not quite as big as Toby. I just spent Labor Day weekend up at my other place by La Crosse. I actually did see a couple nice bucks when I was up there doing work. A lot of trail work, moving stands, trimming stands, putting the cameras up. That's always a big unknown up there. A giant could show up there, or it could be a down year. It really fluctuates a lot up there. And then plans going forward. I got a lot on my plate this year, so to speak. I'm maybe biting off more than I can chew. And I felt that way before a certain somebody showed back up last week. I got a bunch of video from Iowa last year. Spoiler alert, I didn't shoot anything. I chased a deer called Tyson. You'll see him. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate on the Iowa video because I pass up a couple deer that I should not have. But Tyson's a special deer. I had him at 13 yards. I was at full draw, and I just couldn't see my pins. It was too dark. And so after that encounter, kind of, I basically told myself, he's the only deer I'm going to shoot. He showed back up a couple weeks ago, and he is a absolute giant. Probably the biggest, potentially the biggest deer I've ever got to hunt. Him and Gary on are pretty close. But so what I'm getting at is, like, this, I got this giant deer that shows up, and I had all these plans for Western hunting, and now I don't know what to do, because I would like to save some vacation to hunt Tyson and here, but I also really love going out west. So, enough babbling. My plans that I've settled on. I have a Montana elk tag. I'm going there in about a week and a half to elk hunt. I'm going to go for 9 or 10 days, and then I have a Wyoming pronghorn tag again. Me, Colton, and our friend Jake all have tags. My cousin Colton's going to come along to help. We're in a different unit than we were last year. Similar area, but different unit. It's a Type 2 tag. It's going to be a tougher hunt. Access isn't great, but I think we'll see what we can do. And then I have a Montana mule deer tag. That's the one thing I might give up to hunt Tyson, because that'll end up kind of being prime time in Iowa, and we'll see where we're at there. And then of course I'll have my Iowa bow and gun tags, and I'll have my Wisconsin bow and gun tags, and I'm sure I won't need any more tags because I already have enough. So that's kind of the plan. A lot of things coming up. I'm gonna wrap this video up. I've already went too long probably, but hope you guys have a safe and successful fall this year, and hopefully we'll get some good content to share.